Hello and welcome to Degenerate Nation Podcast. This is the show that for some reason will last forever because we got started back again and we'll never stop again. And we'd love to talk about all the things in the world and in our heads. And today, Wendy and I, hi Wendy.
Hi.
Today's show is brought to you by homeless people having sex. We need a sound effect like, yay! So, Wendy, I'm going to, because of your technology hookup there, I'm going to read you the article. Oh, wow, I'm burping NA beer. This is my fourth NA beer.
Nice.
I had a fucking fantasy draft earlier. It was great. It's fun. I got a D score. Fuck that place. Fuck Yahoo. Okay, so homeless couple, this is from the New York Post on August 31st.
Any deal do.
Yeah. Homeless couple. How do they know they were a couple, right? I mean, why do we always use the word couple? Anyways, I mean, it could have been a regular housed person, like, having sex with a homeless person. How do they know they're homeless? Maybe they're just adventurous, right? A lot of inferences here. However, homeless couple filmed having sex in parking lot under New York City's FDR Drive. Now, I've only been in New York a few times, so I don't really know the layout of FDR Drive, but it's steps away from the East River Greenway. East River Greenway doesn't necessarily sound good to me, but I don't know. I've never been there. I've also never had sex as a homeless person in public, or had sex as a homeless person. But are we knocking it till we try it? What do you think, Wendy? No, exactly. We are. I'm gonna say on record that this show is pro homeless people fucking. Like, what the fuck are they supposed to do? Like, they're not going by your rules, bro. Like, you're gonna gentrify our homeless sex too? No, homeless people have been fucking since the land bridge, bro. The land bridge. They weren't homed there. They walked across the fucking land bridge to find better puss and better dick, right? Right?
That's
like,
right.
they literally didn't have an official home. They were nomadic, which no means no home, okay? So, like, nomadic, no home. So I really think it's total bullshit that these New Yorkers and wherever else these people are from that are decrying homeless people, banging each other's brains out. Like, there's no tomorrow, because there might not be. You don't have a fucking home. Like, I don't understand, right? Okay, so this was from the late afternoon rush through nightfall, a bearded man repeatedly bumped uglies with a pantsless woman lying atop of a gray mattress, hot, situated next to a bike and parked tractor trailer. The trio of video shows. I have not seen the videos yet because I'm on no masturbating kick for a while. Trying that out. Like, I just gloss over, like, why? Why is that relevant? Because this would turn me on. A couple having sexual intercourse on the sidewalk was a new low for the city for me. I think gas 34-year-old local who recorded the interaction told the Post. So it was a new low for the city, and yet you filmed it, and they're the problem. Come on. If you don't like it, you don't start nothing, won't be nothing. You don't start filming, it's not real if it's not on tape, right? It's like, I guess there was a stabbing, but that was unrelated. So it was like that and the stabbing. It was like, wait, don't you think the stabbing is a little more problematic than a fucking homeless person, like, fucking? Like, I don't understand this.
It was on a mattress, right?
And yeah, it was on a mattress. Mattress discounters.
So if the homeless person was sleeping on the mattress, it would be no big deal, and they wouldn't have even stopped and filmed it.
Right, exactly. So you don't acknowledge them unless they're...
per se.
Like, somehow that's less humane to fuck? Like, I don't understand. I think they should fuck more. I think they should have more children. I think we're having a problem with birth rates in this country, and I think Elon Musk would be in agreement with me. Elon, if you're listening, I just found your solution. We need to stop worrying about how we can afford these to send these kids to private school and just start fucking. I mean, if you're housed or unhoused and you're of birthing age, just do it, man. Elon wants you to have 9 kids driving around his fucking Cybertruck. And if the Cybertruck, breaks down with a computer driver and smashes into another Cybertruck, and 4 of the combined 13 children perish, you still got 9 left combined, and that's pretty good. That's pretty good, right? By those, it's about the birth rates. It's about the birth rates. And homeless people are trying to fix the problem in America, right? See, this is how politics work, right, Wendy? And we're trying to get Wendy more into politics, right? Bullshit politics like this. So this one guy says, I've lost track of the amount of people shitting on the sidewalk, screaming for help on the sidewalk. Okay, those are issues. Fucking is not an issue to me. But pooping on the sidewalk, okay, how many businesses won't let homeless people go take a shit in their building, right? A lot. Some of them will. But it's like if you give a mouse a cookie, right? If you give a homeless person a bathroom, they're going to take a shower in the sink or bath in the sink. They're going to shit. They're going to masturbate. They're going to do whatever they do in the bathroom. Use the wireless for their...
They're going to move in.
Move in. Their iPhone 15. They're squatters, right? It's like your brain, if you're an asshole, makes all these assumptions, right? And meanwhile, these are the same people that want there to be like unlimited immigration until it's in their front yard or backyard, and it's like, oh well, no, not those ones. It's like, what do you think this is? People are, no matter the problems in this country, and we've already like, Wendy, remember we just railed on what the fuck we were talking about? The episode was called America. I don't know. It was 2 episodes ago. We were basically talking about how we're in a shithole situation in a great place that is now like fine. There is a reason why the slogan "Make America Great Again" worked for a lot of people, or still works for some, or many, I should say. Is that you can literally say like, no, there are some issues here, and we didn't have this issue back when I was a kid or back when I was a 20. It's like, no, probably did. You just didn't see it. It's just more magnified because of the technology, right? Like when your town has the same type of problems that a bigger city does. It's just like there's 3 people with that problem that you know of, and it's like, oh, the town drunk, the town homeless guy, and the sex worker, right? But that's extrapolated with a larger population. It's probably not that much different. It's just there's less avenues to get into trouble, like, and people see it as much because there's not as many bars, not as many like fucking places to shoot up and not be seen. You're like, I would shoot up there, but I might see them the next day at the Kroger and they saw me shooting up, and it's like, ugh, I don't want that awkward conversation. Like to me that's like a quaint thing that people might associate with the Midwest, like the conversation part, not necessarily the shooting up, but also the shooting up maybe, like at this point, like it's America, right? America shoots up. So I don't know, it's just, I don't want to live in a country where people fucking is a bigger problem than people not having anywhere to go to do anything. The pooping and the screaming is obviously a problem because no one wants to be in that situation, right? People want to pee outside, and men want to pee outside. Oh, yeah, do we ever? But pooping? No. Nobody wants to take a shit outside. That's fucking atrocious. And I feel for you, man. If I owned an establishment, I just have a fucking... You like to shit outside, Wendy? Why?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll just take a random 5-gallon bucket and go to town.
Ooh, like a pickle bucket?
No, 5-gallon, like a bigger bucket.
Like a bigger bucket of pickles?
Yeah.
like a lubricant, industrial lubricant bucket?
Exactly, you got it.
It's a lubricant bucket challenge. You have to fuck through the whole bucket of lube. Like you have to use the entirety of that lube, and it's only for fucking and masturbating, right? And then afterwards, to triumph, you take a big old poop in the bucket. And then you win. You reach, like, next level. I don't know. It's like a fucking... Remember the Columbia, like, mail-away CD club? It's like that. It's exactly like that.
I think it's a challenge, especially with girls. That's why we wear skirts, so we can sit down in the bucket, cover everything up with
Ooh,
the
I
skirt.
didn't think about. So are you saying that there is a connection between women pooping, the free nature of women just raw dogging their poops like outside or somewhere, and men just having the freedom to pee? It's not penis envy. It's like it's actually excrement and relief envy.
I would say it's not envy per se. I would say it's more like convenience.
Pull up the skirt and drop the turds, right? Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like when you like, you've worked with more poop that belong than me than it belonged to others. Okay, but like,
Yes.
it's also you're like yes, daddy, but also, but like it's been animals. You work with animals, like you have a farm, like so you deal with a lot of animals like on an ongoing basis, and that's a lot of other
A lot of shit.
a lot. I got a lot of shit in my hands, like, and me less that I've cohabitated with my family, and I've had roommates before in the past, not often, but most of my family, but like. That's a limited amount of other people's turds you're gonna ever encounter or smell or taste. So when you're walking to a fucking bus to go, like, I took a bus to a train, and I'm transferring from bus to train. It's like 7:45, 8 a.m. LA time in the morning, and you just see a big old fucking shit just sitting there, right on the fucking train platform. And no one blinks an eye. I mean, I'm like, what the fuck am I? What? That's when I feel like I didn't know quite yet that I needed to go home. But that's the moment that my body registered it. And I was already checked out.
It's not that weird.
Dude,
because all those girls that are on their way to work in skirts, they're carrying their buckets. And someone just decided
girls with
that's
jobs
what
don't
they're
take
gonna
the
drop
bus
it,
and
they're gonna
like
empty their bucket.
in a big city like that. I mean, they take the subway
Why
in New
not?
York, but they don't take the bus in like anywhere to go to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
The bus?
Probably not.
The bus? Like work. I mean, like professionally, where you need a skirt, right? Like, I mean, if you're doing sex work, are you taking the bus? I don't know. You might need a skirt for that, or it might be handy. But do you take the bus? I don't think so. Because then you smell like bus when some guy's trying to plow for, like, I don't. Your bus stays with you. It's who take. Can I ask you something? I mean, I know maybe your experience is a slight limited on like the sheer volume of seeing people like like I would in the city, but like.
Yes, Daddy.
Yes, Daddy. But like, do you know? Can you tell who rides like or does the equivalent of riding the bus, like where you are and what you've been around?
You can kind of tell.
You can just tell who rides the bus, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're out there and you ride a bus, I want you to tell us the worst, most horrific or hilarious story that you have from your bus experience. I don't care if it's like traumatizing, hilarious, traumatizing for someone else probably as well. Bizarre, sexy, kinky, profane. Just where should they send that story to?
DegenerateNation@gmail.com.
Yeah, and if you have it typed up somewhere, an audio clip, you can link it to our Twitter as well, which is
@DegenerateShow.
That's right. You get a good plug for Daddy there. That was awesome. Yeah, I want to hear these stories because I literally saw a guy. He was he had some type of disability because he had like what's the right term medically? Is it stumps? Is it nubs? It's the arms that were like cut off in some fashion.
Limber challenged.
Limber challenged. Limb challenge, right?
Limly challenged.
Limly challenge. Okay, so like they were limly challenged, and I'm like, okay, and I'm like, is this guy okay? This guy's getting on the bus. It's like whatever time in mid evening. I was like, okay, well we're going. We'll see where he goes. Whatever. Maybe I'll talk to him, have a conversation. Treat him like regular Joe. But he started muttering things about fucking like the specs on the Death Star. Like he's just like, from the moment he got on the bus to the moment I got off the bus, two things happened. One, this dude is straight up fucking talking to himself about Star Wars. Like, not like anything interesting, but like the specifics of like it was like as if like a, you know how people think architect is like a sexy job, but it's probably not at all. It's just like a lot of it is probably architecture adjacent, where you're like talking about specs on buildings that already exist and like all sorts of like plumbing. Oh, the pipes go there. He was like that about, right. But the fucking Death Star, which doesn't exist, let's be clear, is not a real thing yet. And he's talking about this shit, and he's like, yo, the blast doors, the blast doors, and the hanger. And he has stumps, and he's got a bag of fucking Doritos, and he's trying to open the bag with his stumps. And I'm like, my jaw's on the fucking floor of this dirty-ass bus. And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know which is more extreme for me to witness, or like the commitment to just jabbering about the blast doors in fucking Star Wars of the fucking Death Star. Like, he was talking about specifics, right? Just getting real nitty gritty with it. I was like, am I learning something, or does this guy need help? And then he just finally opens it, and I was like, how the fuck did he get that open? He didn't bite his mouth. And then, like, you talk about, you see these Paralympics are on right now, right? I haven't seen any, but like, it's incredible, right? But also, isn't it incredible that someone no arms just doing something like that people take for fucking granted? He's like,
yes, Daddy.
Yeah, like Daddy knows it's hard to open Lay's products with your stumps, or with your, like, if you'll be open with, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how you do that, because you have to grip to pull those things. They're like fresh sealed, right? They fucking seal the freshness in there of the junk food, and it's like, okay, well, how the hell are we gonna get this open, Wendy? How are we gonna do this? And I was fascinated. 10 minutes went by, 30. I don't know where I got off. I don't remember those. Oh, I got off all right, but like, I don't remember anything but Star Wars, blast doors, Death Star, and then the sound of the bag opening, because it was like for 20 minutes, it seemed like, and then it's like he got it open, and it was like nothing. There's nothing. I mean, that's incredible. That's an Olympian. That's a Paralympian. I mean, dude's a fucking Paralympian. But like, this was, the more I rode the bus, the more this was like, in LA, the more this wasn't like abnormal at all. There were guys threatening the bus driver, and the bus driver straight up like, yeah, you ain't shit. I'm like, oh, please don't talk to this guy like that. I'm like, this guy's gonna come back, get off the bus, and get on another stop tomorrow, or like, not get off the bus and shoot everybody. And like, don't be a hero if you're a bus driver, dude. We went, like, no, you don't be a hero. We're not in Speed. You're not Sandra Bullock in Speed, bro. Like, these guys are fucking nuts. These people are really in disrepair out there. Really. And this was like 15 years ago almost. So it's like, they're in, like, can you imagine the level of disrepair that Los Angeles transportation is in now? If you're listening, tweet us at Degenerate Show, or email at degeneratenation@gmail.com about your travel experiences. Whether it's like, even if you're stuck on the freeway and you see a crazy, like, a deranged person in clown makeup, like, screaming and throwing feces out the window, like, honestly would not surprise me, right? It's just like, what are these people doing? I don't understand. I mean, I saw a guy blowing snot rockets on immigrants before. I dodged literal.
Back to being animals.
Yeah, no. Well, okay, I have a theory, and the theory is, if you have an untreated or barely treated or once treated and not currently treated mental illness, and you're also in a financial situation where you're riding a bus constantly, because you still got to go places, got people to go, people to see, people, places to go. Got to get around. Got to take the bus with all the other poors. And, like, I was one of those poors, and I still am, so I can say that. Because no one's riding the bus for fun. I'm not happening. Not happening. It sucks. It always sucks and always will suck. Buy a car, steal a car, do something. I don't know. But like this guy was blowing snot rockets on these completely unassuming immigrants. I think they're immigrants, but I mean, whatever. I digress. Behind me, and I'm literally dodging like boogers, fucking matrixing like Neo, fucking boogers while sitting on a bus. I'm like, but at no point was I like, oh, this is completely abnormal. I was like, this is what it must have been like riding a bus, like past 16 years old. If you're like past 16 years old and you're riding a bus, something happened, right? There was a fraction in your life.
You're either a college student or there's just something there
No,
that you just
not
can't
even a
afford
college
to-
student. No, because I don't know. I guess cars are expensive now, but like including used cars. But like I don't know, man. I'm like the moment I got access to a car, never looked back because the moment I rode the bus in college and it was fine because it was at Michigan State. It was like fine because there's other students mostly. And locals and stuff, but it was like a college town, right? It wasn't a feces fest and like booger town. Like it was horrible, like doing those things. The college was fine. I rode it to the bar. Oh wow. But this is like fucking miserable. We're going into like white collar like prison jobs and like
the bar.
and
Do these people have DUIs?
no, I was riding into the bar, and I did not have a DUI, but probably mostly because I didn't have a fucking car in college, so that was kind of tough on me. But honestly, like the bus, like if you're in New York or another city like Miami might be a better comp for the bus. I want to hear your bus stories. Please give us your bus stories. Send us your misery to degeneration@gmail.com. degeneratenationwendy@gmail. And where can they tweet you at, Wendy?
Just use the regular Twitter. I'm not on X anymore. I lost it in a pile.
You lost what?
I lost my Twitter in a pile of shit.
Oh, that's that happens sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
That'll do it. That'll happen. So I don't know. It's like there's just not enough like attention on things like this, and so it's such a surprise to someone, even that lives in a like an urban environment where like, do you expect these people to not defecate or fuck at all? At all? Like you built like a Starbucks and Panera's on top of Starbucks and Panera's, and you push everyone out, and you build these like fancy like condo apartment luxury apartments with like a trendy bar restaurant and like the top middle floor that pushed out a funeral home, and it's like or bottom floor, whatever. Like where do you think they're gonna go?
People are so self-centered nowadays that they don't really care. They just want to be all about self.
Yeah, I agree.
Keep the money for themselves. They don't want to put money into these resources that we need as a community. And they actually could take better use of them in the community. But they don't care. They want the money for themselves. I think we're greedy.
We're greedy. We are greedy, but I'm greedy for more homeless fucking. Like, I think people should fuck more. I think they should have more kids. I think Elon Musk doesn't go far enough. I think he should advocate because okay, when Elon Musk, somebody like that, we'll say ilk type, when he says we have a problem, he doesn't mean of like birth rates in America or amongst this culture. He's not referring to homeless people and bus people. He might think that he's including those type of folk, those people in those types of situations where they're riding the bus every day, or they're fucking living on wherever their head may rest, right? Or like the guy in Back to the Future, the drunk homeless guy in Back to the Future. That was like the most perfectly innocuous version of a homeless person ever, by the way. He was like, oh, rah, 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 and you're like, ha, 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 he's still there. Oh, he's still there when he comes back to the future, right? And it's like, no, that guy's life sucks. Like, I want to see a movie about that guy. Anyways, Am I the only one that thinks that there's me and you, Wendy? Are we the only ones that think that these are fucking the most human of us, the people in these situations? They just keep going, and they find a way to keep going, even if they don't really want to. That our cells don't want us to stop just existing until they turn off on by their own volition.
I'm in awe of the resilience of the homeless person.
Right? Like, it's insane that like, and these aren't only people that were like. There's not like a type that's hardwired for adventure, right? That becomes homeless for the fucking jollies. It's like, no, you just become homeless. There was a shit. I went to my parents' house to check on the cat today. A neighbor is feeding it, a neighbor kid, and I met I was talking to the dad, and I met the kid, and I was just like, there was this kid that lived in this guy that we grew up with that lived in the neighborhood and that lived in the house where this guy lives in now, and we had somehow started talking about that, and I was like, yeah, that kid was fucked up, and like the dad was an ass. You were like the extreme nice version of the last guy because you have the similar hobbies, except like he was a piece of shit and you're awesome. You seem great. So I didn't really know him well, but he brings us tomatoes. It's like, like anyone that brings you tomatoes is probably not gonna stab you to death or something. Like I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe it's a great front. I don't know. But like, um, this kid was, he
Well,
was.
I was passing out tomatoes this weekend. I'm not a stabber, so.
You're not a stabber. I don't. I really feel at this point, Wendy, I know you enough that you're not a stabber. But hey,
Okay.
wool over my eyes.
Yeah,
So this kid,
unfortunately, got a vegetable garden.
this kid was he was fucked up because it was like he was adopted with his sister, but it was like I even described to the guy that I talked to today. It was like, well, the thing was, it was like a package deal. Like they got the kids quicker than you probably normally get a kid because he had some shit happen to him when he was developing in the womb. Um, if we can say that in this pro-choice versus pro-life climate, but he he's fucked up. Like he's fucked up genetically, and then his adopted dad was a piece of shit. So it's like he got double shit. He had at least 3 of his 4 parents were shit, because he had the ones that gave him away after he was fucked up, and the that fucked him up in the first place, and the dad is probably worse than all 3 of them. The other ones, and it's just like I was like, yeah, like I know he's creepy, and I know he came around your family because he used to live there, and it's like really kind of weird. His adopted parents moved like across the country like 5 years ago, and it's like he stayed, but he's staying in like shelters and shit. I was like, you didn't take this fucking kid with you? Like I don't care what happened, what he did. Like, anyways, it's fucked up. Like these are the types of people who become homeless. It's like, how do you not want them to fuck still? Like that's inhumane. First off, to be like, oh yeah, only the right people should breed. Oh, that's eugenics. Not cool. Or only the people that I think should fuck should fuck. Like you like I want to see like passionate outdoor fucking in a movie, or I want to do it on the Appalachian Trail, or I want to do it in the water, in the fucking place of water, like Amazon, in the jungle, or the fucking swamp of the jungle, or in the fucking marsh in the Everglades with alligators threatening you to bite your asshole off at any moment. But no, most of that is not like what you're getting when you're thinking outdoor sex, right? 17% of outdoor sex is couples, trying a thing. They're probably early on in their thing where they're like, remember that time we got fucking gristle in our assholes? Like, I don't want to do that again. It was hot, but like, a time and a place. It was hot because it was rare, and we don't have to do it again. It's like you eat that thing that would tasted good but made your blue out your asshole. You're like, we don't need to go there again. But 80, what is that? 17%, 83% people fucking outside are homeless people, or the near homeless, or like the ones homeless that still want to get that fucking visceral edge to it, to their fucking and their baby making. I know I have a lot of problems, Wendy. I have a lot of problems with this situation. I think when I read that article, part of me was like, huh, that's interesting. But Wendy, these are real people quoted as like, I don't want this, or like, yeah, but you make it sound like you don't want it because they don't deserve to fuck or they don't deserve to have an outlet. It's like they don't want to do this. They don't want, like, if they were in their quote unquote right mind, they would not want to be in these situations to be caught fucking at 3 in the afternoon with like people canoeing like 20 feet away or whatever, or like whatever the fuck they do. I don't know, the East River, like go fuck yourself. That's a fuck zone. That is a adult playground of fucking. Okay, this boxcar pobo is just bashing each other with their genitals, just stick on stick,
Okay, so
ass to ass. Just
if a homeless person doesn't necessarily have a house,
mm-hmm.
let's say they're out and about and they're doing their thing, wherever they're doing their thing, what's wrong with them fucking outsiders? I don't get it. It's fine.
It should only be legal if you're not doing it in your house. Then you have a house, like, or like in a hotel. If it's not like
if you don't have a house, then yeah, everything else is your home.
Do you think they should get extra privileges? I think they should. Maybe it should be inverse, like where it's like people with homes that have like pay taxes for their homes or pay rent or pay whatever electric bill, utilities, have a paper trail to their late stage capitalist lives. They should not be allowed to fuck outside of those homes, their friends' homes, their family's homes, or Airbnb hotels. The homeless or the near homeless, or maybe even the bus riding poor should be able to fuck anywhere but their domiciles, if they have one, right? Let's mix it up. Let's do a little Musk special and see what he really feels like. I think Cybertrucks should be rebranded because of how fucking hideous they are, to just bus homeless people around to go like for fucking like cruising. It should be redefine the cruising era to be like homeless people packed in Cybertrucks just going for fucks. And you know what? I want everyone to get showers. I want everyone to be clean. I want everyone to have a good experience. I want them to maybe fall in love along the way because love will save the day. You gotta be bad. You got, whatever that song is. I just feel like it's important that we clean them, that they if we're just gonna lean into this, which I want to lean into this, it's just like they would rather be fresh to death, and maybe the rawness, the heat of it, maybe that'll inspire them to be like, huh, that was kind of nice. I kind of like this feeling. I like that I'm being supported right now. Maybe I'll go finish my diploma, or maybe I'll find out why I got in this situation where I don't know. I have this story to cap this off, and I think this gonna make a lot of sense, Wendy. This is a story from my writing partner.
Okay.
So are you ready for Daddy's story?
Yes, Daddy.
Okay. So McDonald's, Atlantic City, late aughts, and as I burp out an NA beer, my buddies at McDonald's, Atlantic City, late aughts, 4 or 5 in the morning. They've been playing cards all night, gambling all night. They're at McDonald's just trying to get a bite. All night McDonald's. There's this woman, and she looked like fucking strung out, my buddy says, and he's like, just couldn't take his eyes off her, right? And I was like, huh, okay. And he's like, oh, you're going to love this. It gets better. I was like, okay. And so she's trying to fucking figure out, those parfaits? The lids are kind of like really on there. They're on there fucking tight, right?
They have to be.
They're butthole tight on those parfaits. And she's trying to fucking figure out this parfait. Like how to get this bitch open. And it was like a struggle. And my buddy is like, dude, I'm just fascinated. I don't know why. He must have sensed something about to happen. And so this woman, she's clearly strung out. He's like, it had to have been heroin or pills. It wasn't alcohol, because with alcohol, you're like, fuck, I'll quit. I don't care about parfait. Like, fuck your parfait. Throw it. If it was alcohol, you'll fucking throw it at somebody. What are you looking at? But heroin is inward, I'm imagining. I've never done it. I don't particularly plan to. I don't do pills. I mean, I take pills for medicine, but maybe I do pills, right? It's a slippery slope. Anyways, this woman she was just fucking gone, like blanked out, parfait in hand with a spoon, just like can't get the fucking lid off. And I shit you not, my buddy is like, she has this look on her like she has an idea, but it's like she's not processing it. She's just reacting to whatever faint impulse was still alive in her, right? That wasn't all heroin or coming down from the junk or the smack or whatever. And this smackhead is like fucking starts reaching in her fucking pants and blasting herself, like deep digging on her, punching a rainbow, just going for it. And she's like, she starts moaning. She's fucking moaning and moaning. It could have been hours, right? And in a heroin bliss, and it was like all of a sudden she comes in her fucking, she jizzes in her pants right there in the middle of a 5 a.m. Atlantic City McDonald's in the late aughts. Let's be clear, this is the late aughts. And nobody reacts. And then she's like, pops a parfait up, no problem. Top just gums that shit down. It's amazing. Like, it's like the visceral way that it was described to me and that I'm able to relate to you, Wendy, and the audience is, that's a thing of fucking beauty, right? It's just like, it's horror, it's ugliness, it's flat out gory, and it's majestically, intrinsically beautiful as well. Because this woman just like, she's just, her base desires is all she's been reduced to. Right? Okay? Don't we all have a little bit of that in ourselves? We get fucking upset when we can't figure out the Netflix password that we chose it, or our partners or whoever we live with fucking chose those passwords, had an opportunity to write it down. And we get upset about that. And we think it's okay to have that. This is the things we get upset about. And we're transferring into this. Someone else's fucking, that's their fucking life. I think you should feel, instead of like that mild, like obtuse rage, you're like, oh, I don't like it. Oh, I don't want it. And you're trying to like hit a button to make it go away. You'd be like, I really feel for that person in this moment, right? I would prefer that I don't see them, their fucking asshole stretched out on a park bench, that I would have, another opportunity came along, would have had a picnic with someone on that. However, this is a different sort of bridge and tunnel crowd I'm dealing with. These are people that are fucking in bridges and going down people in tunnels. Like, so I don't know. I think it's a little weird that we do reserve this like quotable like New York Post, New York Times sort of rage for in the moment of like, I don't like that. I didn't think it was, I thought it was base. It's like, okay, but why are we such whiny fuckers now? And it's like, that's someone else's life. Feel grateful that the times that you're desperately trying to fuck, or you're murdering your penis on your bed, that's a fucking thread count that's in the triple digits, for Christ's sake. These are fucking like Vietnam era blood cots. You know, like people have been murdered on these beds, and that's what they trot out there in the grit and the rust of the eastern seaboard, just jamming their genitals into other genitals and just like living through the fucking fog of war every day in their minds, and they can't get off just because you don't like it. Fuck you. Fuck you.
It's beautiful whether or not it's in a, like you say, in a bed with triple digit sheets.
Yeah, right. Like,
I next everybody. And it's glorious.
it is so glorious.
But when you can.
I think you should all. I don't want my listeners, our listeners, Wendy, to have to experience like mental disrepair or homelessness or addiction or anything so super challenging like that, or even for fuck's sake, I don't even want you to have to ride a bus very often. But I do want you to be in a place in your life at least a couple times where you're so base, your desires are so puerile or so like immediate at the same time that you're just like you don't see anything but at a and raw and immediate and urgent fucking ahead of you, or it's like a hand job built out of like 1,000 years of ancestry leading to this moment where you just had to get jerked off in the fucking alley of a fucking rundown rainforest cafe. You know, like, what is wrong with that? Nothing. There is nothing wrong with it. It's like, okay, obviously, we don't want vulnerable populations, i.e., kids or whatever, seeing that. But, like, okay, then if they get caught and it's anywhere near a place that was in, then what? You just improve their lives because they can't go to those areas anymore. They could probably have to, like, be in prison, not in prison, like in jail, like a Holiday Inn jail for a little bit, and like maybe they can get straightened out, maybe get some medicine, or maybe get some like therapy. It's like, do you think these people want to do anything but the fucking anything else that goes along with this? But the fucking no, 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 no. They don't. Maybe they don't want to go to the same job every day, but would they like the pride associated with doing a decent job? I tried it, ish. Yeah, probably. But they lost their way or whatever. Or there's something to be said over the people, like the river people, or the ones that just want to go on that river and just ride it where it goes. It's like some fucking modern day Huck Finn bullshit. But like, no, it's mostly people that have some disturbances, that had some family issues, like my neighbor, or God, it's probably more. A lot of times, it's more innocuous than that. It's just like someone sent them off to war because they thought they could go to a college, and it's like instead they get this fucking brain illness, and it's like awesome, great. These guys went to fucking Desert Storm, okay? They should fucking a tunnel if they want to, right? Who are they hurting?
They can in a tunnel or on a beach or downriver.
I mean, fuck, just go. Let's just like we should have tubing orgy trips, just for the homeless. Just fucking orgiastic float jamborees, just fucking skin on wood, just straight up make America fertile again. Right? Like that's what we need to do. Oh, there's not. It's just great, honestly. I remember one time floating down the Shenandoah River in Virginia, and I was fucking hammered, like hammered. And this girl was like, someone's sister, one of our friends, like acquaintances, friends, whatever, sister, younger sister was like desperate to like make out with me, and it's like she's like falling in the water, and I'm like, are you okay? Like I still made out with her, obviously, but it was like at a certain time we were both hammered, and I was like, this is like we're gonna drown. How raw and beautiful is this? You know, it's like it was stupid and weird, but it was like there was something amazing about it. This in that moment, I was like, I felt needed. I felt someone else's urgency. Despite how twisted it also seemed, because I don't know. I mean, like I feel like I was always a little bit more there when drunk. Like I still, unless I was so fucked up that like I would go to the dark place, or like the I blacked out once and only once, and I peed in a metro, and that my friend drunk drove me to across the street, and I peed in the metro, and I got caught by the police on video. Paid a fine, whatever. Not a sex offender. It's cool. Had to Google it though to make sure. Urges, exactly. Peeing or fucking or shitting or throwing up on something like, or just I don't know. It was just so base, and it was just like this one wants to. She would just as soon drown just to not taste me, and I was like, this is awesome. But I was all, but there was that part of me that was also like, this is so stupid. Like, there's like 3-4 feet of water, and we're putting ourselves at risk for what? We can't bang on this float, but maybe we could have, right? Right? Was I was living with my parents. Was I a housed individual? Yes. Was I homeless? Was I? I don't know. I don't have a deed, and you don't need a deed to do the deed, do you?
No.
Ironically, she was this girl. Like we were on the bus later, sobering up, and I was like, the bus back to the DC, and I was like, she was talking about like she did like some like fucking whatchamacallit, not an intern thing, but like a volunteer thing for part of her program in school. She was in school still. I was older, and I was like, oh okay. I'm like, well, I don't care. Like the fun is already, the base desire has faded. We're not in the river wild anymore. I don't care about you, and you don't shouldn't care about me. But I was like, oh okay. She's like, yeah. Then like part of it was like I stayed out all night as like as if I was a street person. I was like, I want to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's not like a thing to do to figure it out. You can figure it out without doing it. It's one of those things, honey. Like it's one of those things when you look and you don't. If you need to walk in their shoes, literally, the ratted shoes of a person that doesn't have a lot of options to complain about their Netflix password because they don't have no Netflix, they don't have no house, they don't have no TV. Like if you can't just scan the room or the lack of room because we're outside perpetually here, unless we're in the library or wherever else they may roam, wherever they may roam, and they do roam across the land bridge of time, um, just fucking and striving. Um, if you need to actually be in that situation, Wendy, to fucking like have a clue about what it must be like, I'm sorry, but I'm way fucking smarter than you because I would never do that. Like, I just think I think it's pretentious as fuck. I'd rather be the person that offers some type of help and then it feels weird because like they think I'm like virtue signaling or just like trying it on. I'd rather be trying it on and be able to go back and watch Netflix and not complain when I lose the password than to be like, oh yeah, you have it so hard. I know what it's like. I'm like, no, you were there one night and you had an Uber take you back. Like, I mean, this is way before Uber, but I was like, your program or whatever you got set up with to do this is fucking ridiculous and asinine. And I don't know. I think she ended up probably did some do-gooder shit. But it's like, I don't know, man. I want my do-gooders to be smarter than that. Do it because you want to, like, you see pain, or you feel you recognize pain, or you recognize opportunity for the lack of pain. The opposite of pain. Whatever. Joy. Is that the opposite of pain? Pleasure. Not pleasure, but like, like a good experience for someone. You want to give something good to somebody. Do it because you want to do that, not because I needed to know what it was like so I could help. Like, no, you don't. Read a fucking book. Watch something. Experience empathy through the experiences by observing. Jane Goodall didn't fucking like turn into a monkey for one day or fuck a monkey. She watched fucking monkeys, dude, and she had a notebook. She had like a fucking notebooks and like fucking photography equipment and fucking video cameras. I'm not saying we should videotape the homeless. Like this fucking woman that was complaining about them fucking Wendy. By the way, Wendy's back is blown out from, what was it from?
I went to the furry convention
She
this
went to
weekend.
furry convention, yeah. Holiday weekend, Labor Day furries. Um, so she's a little quieter. It's not like Daddy doesn't want Wendy to talk. Daddy loves when Wendy talks, but like she's a little down today, and hopefully this Wendy is this diatribe about homelessness and fucking and like how we need to lighten up our our emotional release our emotional tethers and really let loose and let these people fuck and like find a way to stop making our lives and other lives miserable and just let people be people again. Is that helping, Wendy, or is it worse? Or is your back worse now?
I think I'm very glad.
I'm
Yeah.
good. Daddy's voice is soothing. I
Yes, Daddy.
I I don't know. It's so fucking weird because like we started and I was like, oh, what are we? You know, what should we go on about tonight? Because when if you're a little like under the weather, I mean, from the back stuff, and it's like it's later. I was like, I don't want to like get too personal on some of these stories that we have prepped, but we got some good stories. But like, that's there's something. It must have touched a nerve, Wendy, because when Daddy gets nervy, Daddy rants, and I don't know. If you're listening to this and you feel worse, good, because these people like when we say homeless people, we're saying homeless people. They are people. These were people that by and large, whether directly by planning and hope and praying that a life would come into this world, and that life was them, and it went, one might say, astray, or they, in the case of my neighbor growing up, was like an afterthought and treated as such in the womb, and afterwards as an adoptee, like treated as a fucking pariah, like, and then you're surprised that they come out this way, and it's like, and then I'm sorry, you don't want them to be in your town that you paid for, okay, but you don't have to go on social media. It's like just to, yeah, it's kind of, this area's getting a little rough. I kind of avoid it because they kind of like creep me out or something. That's not that bad to say. But or if you don't feel safe, if say you're maybe like you're a woman and you assume that you got to play the stats, so you play the odds when you're a woman and you're not built like someone that could beat the shit out of everybody. I'm not talking like Kristen Stewart and fucking Charlie's Angels or some shit where it's like, oh, this 5'3" woman's beating up all these like Russian adjacent like baddies that are 275 pounds at 6'3". No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like your woman 5'4" to 5'7", single, alone, or with someone else that's vulnerable in that situation. And they might look at someone sideways and be like, I don't feel as safe as I would have if that person wasn't there. I get that. I'm not talking to you because, quite frankly, we don't have a very our listenership is not really comprised of those people that I know of. If you are one of those people, congratulations. Thank you. Email us at degeneratenation@gmail.com or tweet us Degenerate Show and give us your stats, ASL. Um, but like, I just feel like most people aren't like necessarily like that, and we look at someone and we miscalculate our feelings, like our gut reaction. If it's discomfort, that means you're alive and you're awake in that moment, and you, instead of wanting to destroy it, you just live through alongside of it and you keep going, because guess what, until you were that person, that's not your fucking problem. But it's okay to feel awful or weird in the moment about it. But we should still let them fuck, okay? Should we let them fuck, Wendy?
Yes, Dad. Yes, Dad.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I'm gonna watch that video now. Wendy, I sent it to you, right, Wendy? You better find it. There's video. I don't know if it might be grainy. It might be a little grainy for your liking, or maybe you like grainy. Maybe that's your thing. Maybe you like grainy street videos. You know, fucking unhoused.
But these are not paid actors.
These are real. We're talking some non-union shit up in here. Like, these are not paid actors. These are not extras trying to get on that Spider-Man 4 set or the fuck, or into the homeless verse. Like, I don't know, man. These people are just fucking. They're living. Again, for the millionth time, probably in my mind, this episode, I might not have said it directly, but Wendy, these are people. Okay, homeless, yes. ... People, let them fuck.